The rooftop bar glowed with fairy lights, but my stomach churned. I had rehearsed my words, checked the ring in my pocket a dozen times, and told myself tonight would change my life. Emma Sterling's glass clinked against the edge of the table. Her eyes, calm, sharp, studied me, as if she were deciding whether I was worth another sip of wine. "Liam," she said, her tone cutting through the noise, "you don't fit my future." I froze. "What do you mean?" She leaned back, crossing her legs in that perfect, polished way she had. "I've thought about this for months. You're steady, but too grounded. You'll never take me higher." My laugh came out harsh. "Higher? What are you talking about?" "We have plans, Emma. A house, a business." She shook her head. "Cole understands the sky." "You don't. Cole?" My chest tightened. That was when Cole Maddox appeared, sliding in beside her like he belonged there. Tall, uniform, crisp. His hand brushed hers as if he had been doing it for years. He looked at me with that pilot's calm, steady, arrogant. "Evening, Carter," he said, voice smooth. I wanted to punch the smirk off his face. Instead, I forced a smile. "So this is the great secret?" Emma's lips trembled, but she didn't look away. "He's everything I need: adventure, status, confidence. You're safe, Liam, too safe." I swallowed hard. My hand slipped into my pocket, feeling the box with the cheap ring. It suddenly felt like lead. "Safe," I repeated. "That's what I am to you, safe?" Cole's arm tightened around her shoulder. "Don't make this harder than it has to be," I snapped. "You think you're better than me because you fly a metal tube in the sky?" His eyes narrowed. "I think I'm braver." "You play small." "Emma doesn't want small," Emma whispered. "I'm sorry, Liam." I laughed bitterly. "No, you're not." "You're relieved." "You wanted him and now you've got him." I shoved the ring box onto the table. "Congratulations. You win." She flinched at the sound of the box hitting wood. Cole pulled her close as if shielding her from me. "Goodbye, Liam," she said softly. I walked out before my knees gave in. The night swallowed me. Rain slicked the streets and neon lights blurred against the windshield as I drove. My hands shook on the steering wheel, heart pounding with betrayal and rage. I muttered to myself, "She left me for a pilot. A damn pilot." The bottle of whiskey I had thrown in the passenger seat rolled against the door. I grabbed it, drank, and winced at the burn. "Too safe, huh?" I shouted into the empty car. "I gave her everything I had, and it wasn't enough." I pressed the gas harder. The rain hit harder. My chest hurt with every memory, every laugh we'd shared, every promise I thought was real. Headlights flared ahead. A truck swerved into my lane. I jerked the wheel, tires screaming. The last sound I heard was the shattering of glass and the roar of metal folding around me. Then silence. I expected fire, sirens, death. Instead, I opened my eyes to dim light. I was lying on a lumpy couch, not crushed metal, my old couch. I sat up fast, clutching my head. The cheap clock on the wall ticked. My cracked phone buzzed on the table. I grabbed it. The date, 2 years earlier. My chest went cold. A message flashed on the screen. "Emma, we need to talk." I dropped the phone. My hands trembled. No way, no way. I stumbled into the bathroom, flipped on the light, and stared at my reflection. The same old mirror, the same tired eyes, but younger. No scar on my jaw, no lines from 2 years of grinding heartbreak. "This can't be real," I whispered. I splashed water on my face, but the reflection stayed. My phone buzzed again. "Emma, are you free tonight?" I laughed, broken and sharp. "Yeah, I know where this goes. I know how this ends." I gripped the sink and forced myself to breathe. Not this time. I thought of the ring, the bar, the rain, the truck. The way she held Cole's hand. The humiliation. This time, I walk away first. The mirror stared back at me, waiting for my next move. The knock on my door jolted me. Grace, my sister, poked her head in. "You look like you saw a ghost." "You have no idea," I muttered. She frowned. "You okay?" "No, but I will be," she raised an eyebrow. "That's vague," I chuckled. "It's enough." My phone buzzed again. Another message from Emma. I turned it face down. Grace folded her arms.
"You're not going to see her?"
"Not this time." She studied me for a moment, then nodded. "Good. She never deserved you." The words hit deep, but I said nothing. Hours later, I wandered into my closet and pulled out a box of old notebooks. At the bottom was one labeled Dreams, pages filled with sketches of planes, quotes from books, my wild ideas of building something bigger than myself. I touched the faded ink and whispered, "You left me for a pilot, Emma. Fine. I'll become one. I'll own the sky you thought I couldn't reach." I sat back, heart racing. I'm not begging this time. I'm not breaking. I'm flying. Grace pounded on my door until I opened it. Her eyes scanned my face. "You look like you saw a ghost." "I did," I muttered. She tilted her head. "What's that supposed to mean?" I leaned against the door frame. "I got a second shot, Grace. A second chance." She laughed, but it died quickly when she saw my expression. "You're serious?" "Okay, what's going on?" "I'm not meeting Emma tonight," I said. Her jaw dropped. "Wait, she texted you, didn't she?" "Yeah, and I told her I'm not available." Grace blinked. "You turned her down?" "Yes," she crossed her arms. "And now you look like a maniac who's either about to win the lottery or burn down the city." "Which one is it?" "Neither," I said. "I'm going to fly," she squinted. "Fly? As in what, drones? Paper planes?" "No, real planes." Her laugh came back, sharper. "You can barely afford your rent, Liam, and you want to fly?" I'm done being left on the ground. If a pilot was enough to take Emma away from me, then I'll become one. Better than one, she shook her head slowly. "You're insane!" "Maybe, but I'm not safe anymore." "Not small." "I'm going to the flight school." Grace sighed and pushed past me into the apartment. "And how are you paying for this brilliant rebirth?" "I'll figure it out," I said. She glanced around the messy living room. "You've got a couch that eats coins and a fridge that's emptier than your promises." "You'll figure it out?" Classic, I smirked. "Watch me." The next morning, I stood in front of a tiny building with a faded sign, Harris Flight School. The smell of fuel and grass mixed in the air. Inside, a man with silver hair and a flight jacket glanced up from a desk. His voice carried gravel. "Lost?" "No, I'm here to learn," I said. He raised a brow. "Flying isn't a hobby. It's a responsibility." "You think you can handle that?" "I can." "Name?" "Liam Carter." He studied me like he was peeling back my skin. "Flying is honest. It doesn't forgive lies. Are you honest?" I swallowed, forcing myself to meet his gaze. "Yes." He slid a form across the desk. "Sign. But understand, once you're in, there's no half effort. People who cut corners don't last." I gripped the pen. My hand steadied as I signed. "Welcome, Carter. I'm Captain Samuel Harris, your instructor. First lesson tomorrow. Don't be late." That evening, Noah Reed crashed onto my couch with his usual smirk. "You look like a man who either found God or lost his sanity." "Both," I said. "Explain." "I'm learning to fly." He blinked. "You? The guy who gets motion sickness on roller coasters?" I groaned. "That was one time," he laughed. "So what sparked this miracle?" "Don't tell me it's Emma again. It is, but not the way you think. She dumped me for a pilot. I died, I came back. Now I'm going to outfly every damn pilot in the sky." He stared at me, then shook his head. "You're either cursed or blessed, man. Either way, I'm in." "In? Yeah. If you're doing this, I'm your co-pilot for the ground stuff. Late night study sessions, flashcards, whatever. Someone has to stop you from turning into a cautionary tale." I grinned. "Thanks, Noah." He pointed at my gaming rig. "First step, sell that." "Flight hours aren't cheap," I winced. "That's my escape." "Now it's your ticket," he said firmly. 2 days later, I listed the rig online. Watching it leave hurt, but the wad of cash in my pocket eased the sting. I picked up consulting gigs, cut every cost I could. Grace still called me crazy, but she started leaving me sandwiches in the fridge anyway. My first lesson came with a nervous stomach. The Cessna sat on the tarmac like a promise. Captain Harris climbed in first. "Breathe," he ordered. I slid into the seat, gripping the controls. "Feels unreal. Respect it. This plane doesn't care about your feelings. It cares about discipline." "Yes, sir." The engine hummed to life. My heart pounded as the prop spun. The headset crackled with Harris's voice. "Taxi forward." I pushed gently. The plane rolled, light and alive under me. "Keep your eyes on the center line," he said. "I'm trying," I muttered. "Try less. Do more." The words burned into me. I steadied my hands, focused, and felt the rhythm of the plane. Minutes later, we lifted briefly off the ground before touching down again. My stomach flipped, but my chest filled with fire. "That," I whispered, "is it." Harris smirked. "Hooked already, good. Because the sky doesn't care about heartbreak. It only cares if you earn it." I nodded, throat tight. That night I called Noah. "I flew," I said, voice trembling. "Like, actually in the air? Yeah, just a taste, but it felt like freedom. Like nothing could chain me," Noah chuckled. "Careful, man. That sounds like addiction." "Maybe it is," I admitted, "but it's the kind that saves me." He paused, then said, "Good. Then let's make sure you don't crash, literally or financially." I laughed, the sound freer than it had been in years. Before bed, I stared at my mirror again. The man staring back wasn't the one who begged Emma or drowned in whiskey. He was raw, unsteady, but burning with something new. "I will not be left on the ground again," I whispered. "Not by Emma, not by anyone." The event hall buzzed with too many voices, the kind that echoed ambition. I adjusted my cheap jacket and tried not to look like I'd wandered in by mistake. A man with sharp eyes and a darker suit than the room demanded stopped in front of me. "You're not on the schedule?" He said. "I'm not," I admitted. "I came to watch. Maybe learn." His gaze lingered. "Name?" "Liam Carter," he smirked. "Victor Hale, investor. I know most faces here. Yours isn't one of them." "Because I'm nobody yet," I said. "Yet," he repeated slowly, tasting the word. "What do you do?" "I build. Products, ideas, whatever I can get my hands on. I just haven't had the right shot." Victor's smirk deepened. "Everyone here thinks they're building the next empire. What makes you different?" I shrugged. "I don't think I'm special. I just know I won't stop." "Persistence," he said, circling me like a hawk. "Good trait. Show me. Show you what?" "Whatever you've got in your head." "Pitch me," I swallowed. My mind raced. Then I pulled out my phone, opened a demo app I'd been tinkering with, and shoved it in his hand. "It's not polished," I warned. He tapped through the prototype quietly, his face unreadable. Finally, he looked up. "You think too small," I bristled. "Small?" "Yes. Clever code, decent interface, but you're chasing scraps. You want scale? Look at the sky," I frowned. "The sky?" He leaned closer. "Meet me tomorrow, my hangar. If you're serious about building something, we'll see." The next day, I stood outside his private hangar, nerves rattling. The doors creaked open, and inside sat a mothballed jet, sleek lines dulled by dust. Victor gestured toward it. "That's potential. Most see junk. I see a company waiting to be born." I stepped closer, heart pounding. "You want me to work on this?" "I want to build a lean air service for executives who hate waiting. Small jets, fast turnaround. Prestige without waste." I touched the cool metal. "And you want me to?" "You said you build." "Then build this with me. I'll back you, but you prove you can lead." I hesitated. "I'm not even licensed yet." "Then get licensed. Show me discipline. You pass your Checkride, you handle product and customer strategy." "I'll handle capital," my chest tightened. "That's insane," Victor's smirk returned. "Ambition looks good on you." "Don't let it eat you alive," I whispered. "I'll do it." Inside the hangar office, a woman clicked away on a laptop without looking up. Her voice was crisp. "Victor, tell me this isn't another stray you've dragged in." "Olivia," Victor said smoothly. "Meet Carter." She finally looked up. Sharp green eyes cut into me. "Background?" "Product manager. Amateur pilot in training," Victor said. She arched a brow. "So he's broke and reckless," I bristled. "I'm resourceful and determined," she smirked. Big words. "Don't crash the company with them," I shot back. "I only crash once." Her eyes narrowed, then flicked to Victor. "He's mouthy. You like that?" Victor chuckled. "Mouthy men either sink fast or fly high. We'll see which one he is." Later, as we toured the hangar, Olivia walked beside me, arms crossed. "So what's your angle?" she asked. "My angle? Men don't wander into Hale's orbit without one. You want money, fame? A toy jet to impress your ex?" I flinched but kept my voice steady. "I want to prove I can rise." For myself, she studied me. "You sound noble. Nobility doesn't pay invoices. And cynicism doesn't build dreams," I shot back. She almost smiled. "Almost. Careful. You might convince me you believe your own lines." "I do." "Then prove it." That night, Noah barged into my apartment, eyes wide. You did what? I partnered with Victor Hale. He dropped onto the couch. The guy who eats startups for breakfast? Yeah. Are you suicidal or just bored? I sighed. He showed me a jet, Noah, a real one. He wants to build something fast, lean. I told him I'd take the product side once I get my license. Noah groaned. So you signed your soul away for a plane you can't fly yet? I leaned forward. I signed away nothing. I promise sweat. And I'll deliver, he pointed at me. Fine. But remember, Victor doesn't back losers. If you stumble, he'll drop you before you can blink. I won't stumble. Noah shook his head. Famous last words. Back at the hangar the following week, Olivia dropped a thick binder in front of me. Regulations, Carter. Learn them before you start spouting visions. I flipped a page. Dense. Good, that means it's real. This isn't a toy. I know. She leaned closer. Do you? Because if you screw up, people don't get refunds, they die. Understand that before you sell any dreams. I held her gaze. I understand. Then start proving it. Victor called me into his office that evening. He poured whiskey into 2 glasses, handed me one. Tell me why I should trust you. Because I don't quit, I said. That's not enough. People who don't quit also drown. Tell me what you'll sacrifice. I hesitated, then said, everything that doesn't keep me in the sky. His eyes glittered. Good answer. Now prove it. Harris tells me you've got lessons. Pass that Checkride, then come back here. Until then, you're just talk. I'll pass, I said firmly. Victor raised his glass. Then here's to not dying before you do. We drank. Later, Olivia cornered me by the hangar door. You think Victor's your savior? No, I think he's my test. Good, she said. Because he doesn't save anyone. He sharpens them until they either cut or break. I'll cut. She studied me, then said quietly, don't let ambition rot you. I've seen it happen. I won't. Her smirk returned. You're cocky. I hate cocky. Then you'll hate me a lot before this is over. She almost smiled again. We'll see. That night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. The hum of the jet's engine in my imagination filled the silence. Emma's face, Cole's smirk, Victor's piercing eyes, Olivia's sharp voice, all tangled in my head. My past whispered of failure. My future roared of flight. I chose the roar. The gala lights shimmered too bright, too polished, the kind of place I didn't belong. But Victor insisted. You need to be seen, he said, handing me a glass of champagne. Investors don't trust shadows. I'd rather stay a shadow, I muttered. Victor smirked. Then you'll never fly as high as you want. I scanned the ballroom, and my chest tightened. Emma Sterling glided through the crowd, her hand resting lightly on Cole's arm. Her eyes met mine. She froze. Liam? Her voice carried across the room. I didn't move. Cole's brow lifted, smug as ever. You fly now? I forced my voice steady. I'm learning fast. Emma's smile wavered. You changed your haircut. I met her gaze. I changed my life. Victor leaned closer. Friends of yours? Ghosts, I muttered. Later, as the crowd thinned, I found myself in the silent parking deck. The echo of heels stopped me. Liam. Emma's voice was softer now. I turned slowly. What do you want? She took a step closer. You went cold on me. You cut me off. Why? I breathed slow. Because last time I begged. This time I know what I'm worth. Her lips parted, but no words came. Cole's voice cut through the silence. Stay in your lane, Carter. I faced him, heat rising in my chest. I don't have a lane anymore. The elevator doors opened. Cole smirked as they closed around him and Emma. My phone buzzed. A new message. Margaret Sterling requests a meeting. Victor's office smelled of whiskey and leather when I told him. Margaret Sterling? His brows rose. That's not a woman who wastes time. She wants to meet. He poured a drink. Then meet her. But remember, she doesn't play checkers. She plays chess. And she plays for keeps. Olivia appeared in the doorway, arms crossed. And when she wins, she owns the board, Victor smirked. Olivia thinks everyone's a tyrant. I think the Sterlings don't invest, she said coldly. They consume, I rubbed my temples. So I walk in unarmed? Victor slid the glass toward me. No, you walk in knowing your value. That's your weapon. The next day, I sat across from Margaret Sterling in a private cafe room. Her posture was perfect, her pearls sharp against her dark dress. She smiled, but it felt like frost. Liam Carter, I hear you're building something. I am. Sterlings like winners. Are you one? I'm becoming one. She stirred her tea, calm and precise. Emma spoke highly of your persistence once. Then she stopped. Tell me, are you persistent or merely stubborn? I met her gaze. Both, her lips curved. Good, I prefer men who refuse to die. But understand, persistence without power is noise. I can give you power. And in return, you already know. The Sterling name never comes free. I leaned back. Then maybe I can't afford it. Her smile thinned. Every man says that until he realizes he can't afford to refuse. I stood. Then let's see which one I am. Outside? My phone buzzed again. Olivia! Tell me you didn't sign anything, she snapped the moment I answered. I didn't. Good. Because once you do, they'll bleed you dry. She offered power. Olivia scoffed. She offered a leash. Victor thinks it's worth considering. Victor likes fire. He doesn't care if you get burned. Her voice softened. Do you? I hesitated. I care enough to say no. Then hold that line, she said quietly. Because once you cross it, you don't come back. That evening, Noah dropped by. You look like you saw a ghost, he said. More like a phantom with pearls, I muttered. He whistled. Emma's mom? Yeah, she wanted me on a leash. And you? I told her no, Noah grinned. That's my guy. Finally growing a spine big enough to scare billionaires, I laughed, but it felt hollow. She won't forget it. Good, neither will you. You just declared war, Liam, make sure you win. The following week, Victor called me into the hangar. Olivia stood beside him, arms crossed. Victor asked, Do you know what Margaret's thinking right now? No. She's deciding whether to crush you or recruit you harder. Either way, she'll move, Olivia added. And if you're not ready, you'll drown. Victor smirked. But if you are ready, Carter, you might just earn your wings faster than anyone. I looked between them, my chest heavy with the weight of the choice I'd already made. I'm ready, I said. Olivia's eyes softened for the briefest moment. Then she turned away. That night, I stared at the ceiling again. Emma's face, Cole's smirk, Margaret's blade smile, and beneath it all, the hum of the jet waiting in the hangar. I whispered to myself, the war just started. And this time, I'm not the one who breaks. Breathe, Captain Harris ordered, tapping the cockpit frame. I am breathing, I muttered. Not enough. Stop strangling the yoke. Trust the gauges, not your panic. I forced my grip to loosen. Easy for you to say? You want a license, Carter? Then listen. Air doesn't care about your fear. Fly the numbers. My chest tightened, but I nodded. Numbers. Got it. We rolled down the runway. My heart hammered. The plane lifted, and every nerve screamed. Harris's calm voice cut through. Airspeed alive. Climb steady. Don't wrestle. Guide, I whispered. Guide, not fight. Minutes later, wheels touched down smoother than I expected. My hands shook, but the examiner smiled faintly. Congratulations, Harris said. You passed, I sagged in the seat. I thought I'd puke. You still might, he said dryly. At the cafe, Harris raised his styrofoam cup. To Carter, officially less dangerous in the air than on the ground. High praise, I said, sipping bitter coffee. Noah barreled in, dropping a folder onto the table. Forget praise. Look at this. What is it? Sterling Air sniffing around Victor's portfolio. They want to choke us out before you even taxi. I opened the folder, scanning contracts and notes. They're circling. Worse, Noah said. They're circling with money, Harris grunted. Money doesn't fly planes. Pilots do. Noah leaned closer. Yeah, but it buys runways, hangars, and press. I shut the folder. Let them circle. I'll climb higher. That night I opened my laptop. A new message blinked. Cole is not who you think. Look at his logs, I muttered. Great, spam with attitude, but curiosity dug at me. I clicked. A secure link opened a set of files, flight logs, reports. At the bottom, a black box audio file. I hesitated, then hit play. Static. Then voices. Push it harder! Cole's voice snapped. Sir, this isn't safe! A younger pilot stammered. Do it, or you'll never pass my cockpit. The sound of strain, a warning alarm, then silence. The file cut. My throat tightened. He forced a trainee into a maneuver. He almost broke him. I called Noah immediately. "Tell me I'm not crazy," I said. "You're crazy, but not about this. Cole sounds like a reckless bastard. They want me to leak it. And you?" "I don't know." Noah's voice hardened. "He destroyed you once. Now you've got his throat in your hand. Use it." I stared at the screen. "If I do, I'm no better than him." Noah snorted. "Better is overrated. Winning matters." The next morning, Olivia caught me staring at the laptop in the hangar. "What's that face?" she asked. I closed the lid. "Nothing. Lie again and I'll throw you out." I sighed. "An anonymous file. Black box recording. Cole pressuring a trainee years ago. Dangerous, reckless." Her brows lifted. "And you're hesitating?" "Yeah, because leaking it feels like playing dirty." Olivia stepped closer. "If you play dirty, own it. If you don't, walk away forever. But don't pretend you're pure while keeping that file on your hard drive." I looked at her. "So you think I should use it?" "I think you should decide what kind of man you are," I whispered. "The kind who wins the right way." Her eyes softened, almost approving. "Then delete it." I didn't answer. That night, the prop spun in my mind, humming like judgment. My finger hovered over the delete key. Instead, I moved the file into a hidden folder. "Not today," I muttered. "But if the sky turns on me again, I'll be ready." Margaret Sterling's office overlooked the city like she owned the sky. She probably believed she did. She poured tea with steady hands. "Liam, partnerships matter. Alone, you are bold. With us, you are inevitable." I leaned forward. "And what does this partnership look like?" "You keep your pretty vision. We handle control, distribution, contracts. You become the face, not the hands." "A mascot," I said flatly. Her smile was thin, cold as glass. "A leader with protection," I shook my head. "I don't need protection that costs me my spine." "You'll come back," she said softly. "Everyone does," I stood. "Not me." The collapse started within a week. A supply deal dissolved overnight. Another partner withdrew funding. Emails went unanswered. I stormed into Victor's office. "They're cutting us off." Victor swirled whiskey in his glass. "Sterling's work fast when insulted. They're strangling us." He studied me. "Regret your morals yet?" "Not today," he smirked. "Then hold them tight. They'll be all you have left soon." Noah met me at the hangar, holding invoices. "We've got 2 months of fuel at best. After that, we're grounded." I slammed the table. "Damn it! Hey," he said. "You chose the high road. Now drive it, even if it kills us, especially then. Because if you crawl back now, you'll never get up again." I buried my face in my hands. "I can't lose everything again, Noah." He gripped my shoulder. "Then fight harder." Emma found me first. A quiet cafe, rain tapping the window. She slid into the seat across from me. "You look exhausted." "I am. You're bleeding contracts." "Margaret doesn't forgive." I laughed bitterly. "I noticed." Her voice softened. "I didn't leave you for money, Liam." I stared at her. "Then why?" "Because you didn't fight for yourself. You let the world walk over you. And now?" I asked. Her eyes dropped to the flight bag at my side. "Now you scare me." "Good," I said. "Fear is honest." When I got home, the door was cracked. My pulse spiked. Inside on the table sat a small package. I opened it carefully, a broken compass. A note. "Choose true north," I whispered. "What the hell?" Grace walked in behind me. "What's that?" "A compass, broken." She picked up the note. "Someone believes in you." I frowned. "Or someone's pushing me." She looked at me hard. "Not everything is a trap, Liam. Maybe someone actually wants you to succeed." "Or wants me predictable," I muttered. Grace sighed. "Stop twisting gifts into threats. Take the win." I stared at the compass, fingers tight. There's no win yet. That night, Olivia caught me pacing the hangar. "You're unraveling," she said. "We're bleeding deals. Because you told Margaret no." "Because I chose the high road," I snapped. She stepped closer. "Then stop whining about the view from it." "Walk it," I stared at her. "Easy for you to say." "Not easy," she said quietly. "Necessary." Her eyes lingered a moment, then she turned away. I doubled our sales calls. I slept in the hangar. I begged smaller clients face to face, my voice raw, my pride thinner by the hour. Through it all, the file on my laptop glowed in my mind. The black box, Cole's voice pressing that trainee into danger. one key away from detonating his career, one step away from turning dirty. Every night I hovered over it. Every night I closed the laptop. Grace brought me sandwiches. Noah kept books alive. Olivia barked at me to keep moving. Margaret's smile haunted me. Emma's words echoed. "Now you scare me," I whispered to the compass. Good, because fear is all I've got left to give. The billboards hit first. Cole's smile plastered across the city. Sterling air, faster than time. Noah spat his coffee. On-time miracle, my ass, I muttered. They're selling lies. Yeah, but shiny lies. People eat shiny, Victor smirked at the ad. Let them shine. Shiny cracks fastest, Olivia crossed her arms. Unless people believe it first. By day 2, the miracle cracked. Flights late.
Crew's overworked.
Maintenance cut thin. The email came at midnight. Subject line, help, I opened it. A whistleblower. A mechanic inside Sterling Air engines rushed. Parts swapped without sign-off. They'll bury me if they know I talked. But people could die. My hands tightened on the keyboard. I whispered, damn. Morning, I shoved the email at Victor. Read this, he scanned it, face hard. Anonymous? Yes. Terrified, Olivia said, reading over his shoulder. Or bait, Victor muttered. I shook my head. Sounds real? Victor tapped the paper. We need a lawyer. That night, Dana Whitaker arrived, calm eyes, voice measured. She said, we don't leak. We don't speculate. We report facts to the regulator, not the press. Noah frowned. Even if Cole gets away with it? Dana met his gaze. If it's true, regulators will bury him deeper than headlines ever could. If it's false, you stay clean, I nodded. We'll go clean. The storm hit 3 days later. Sirens wailed through the city. Roads flooded. Airports shut down. Our phone rang nonstop. Victor barked, the hospitals need lifts. They're begging for anyone certified. Olivia's eyes locked on me. Your license is fresh. You up for this? I grabbed my headset. Point me to the plane. Captain Harris climbed into the right seat. I'll ride comms. You fly, my heart hammered. Patience? Children, Olivia's voice crackled over the radio. They'll die without transport. Copy, I said, voice tight. Rain slammed the windshield. The jet shook in the crosswinds. Hold her steady, Harris ordered. I'm trying. Try less. Fly more. I breathed deep, guided the nose through the turbulence, and leveled out, Olivia's voice cut in. Ground team ready. Ambulance waiting. We landed hard but safe. Paramedics rushed in. Load fast, I shouted. One mission, then another. The night blurred into adrenaline and exhaustion. By dawn, the storm eased. We'd carried lives out of drowning streets. Reporters swarmed the hangar. Microphones shoved in my face. Captain Carter, how do you feel? I wiped sweat from my brow. We did our job. Flashes lit the rain-soaked tarmac. Victor whispered, perfect answer. Olivia's hand brushed mine briefly. No words, just quiet fire between us. That evening, Noah shoved a TV toward me. Watch. Cole stood at a press conference, jaw tight. A reporter shouted, maintenance memo leaked. Did Sterling Air cut corners? Cole froze. Camera zoomed in. He stammered, We follow procedures. Reporters pressed harder. The memo splashed on screen. Insufficient inspection hours signed off to meet schedule. I sat back, stunned. Olivia whispered, not you? I shook my head. Not me, Victor smirked. Karma moves faster than pilots. Later, Emma's face appeared on the broadcast. No smile, eyes wet. Watching me on the news, not Cole. Noah muttered, she sees the difference now. I whispered, too late. Because I didn't feel joy. Only the quiet lift of a plane breaking free of storm clouds. Victor tossed the newspaper onto the table. Headlines screamed, Sterling Air fined for safety violations. I read the lines twice. It's done, Victor smirked. For now. Margaret's silent. That means she's licking wounds. Olivia leaned against the wall. Or planning her next strike, I sighed. She can plan all she wants. I'm not crawling. Victor lifted his glass. Good. Because you finally learned that flying's not about avoiding storms. It's about climbing through them. That evening, the hangar was quiet, the sunset bleeding across the tarmac. A shadow appeared at the door. Cole Maddox. His uniform looked wrinkled, his eyes hollow. You had the file, he said flatly. I nodded. Yeah, I did. And you didn't use it. No. He laughed bitterly. You still beat me, I met his eyes. No, Cole, you lost yourself, his smirk faltered. He looked smaller than the runway lights outside. Without another word, he walked away. 3 days later, an envelope slid under my door. Emma's handwriting. I stared at it, untouched, for 3 days. When I finally opened it, the words hit like turbulence. I wanted the sky. You became it. I'm sorry. I sat at my desk, letter trembling in my hands. Slowly, I folded it and placed it beside the broken compass. 2 ghosts in 1 box, I whispered. Grace peeked in. You okay? I nodded. Better than okay. Done. She smiled faintly. About time. Victor met me in the hangar the next night. He held up a sleek key card. Your jet, Captain. My breath caught. Mine. You earned it. He tossed the card, and I caught it clumsily. Olivia stood beside him, expression unreadable. Victor raised his glass to me again. Don't crash! Then he walked out. Olivia stepped closer, her hand brushing mine. She squeezed gently. Don't let success own you. I looked at her, voice steady. I won't. For a moment, we just stood there, the hum of silence between us louder than engines. I walked to the jet, sleek, waiting. My fingers traced the cool fuselage. I whispered, I don't chase the sky anymore. I lead it. Climbing into the cockpit, I slid into the left seat, my seat. The checklist was familiar now, muscle memory in motion. Switches clicked, gauges lit. The engine roared to life like an old friend answering back. I breathed deep, hands steady on the yoke. For the first time, I wasn't running from betrayal, ghosts, or storms. I was flying toward myself.